If you've been drawn to work with the goddess or the divine mother, you might want to consider lavender. And today we're going to discuss why that is. Liz, I know you love the soft, gentle nature of lavender. How does it tie in with the divine mother energy for you?
I think it's really interesting, actually. We think about the Divine Mother a lot in my bee medicine work because we have two kinds of mother in the beehive. We have the sort of the queen bee who is the hypersexual queen, but then we have the chaste workers who actually can become mothers if the queen's not working right anymore. And if you look at it sort of historically, you can see that those chaste mothers are very aligned to the Virgin Mary line, this sort of cult of divine birth, purity, of gentleness, of kindness. And I think of all the oils, the only other one that I can think of really that comes close is maybe chamomile, but that sort of, shh, it's all going to be okay feeling. And when you study things like the religious aspects of the Virgin Mary and how people appeal to her, they say, Panagais, um, save us. So, Holy Mother, save us, Theotokos. And I think if you were to say, right, okay, you've got to save somebody with an essential oil now, they're really anxious now, what would you push at them? You would push at them at lavender, wouldn't you? You would say, just take this. It's got this sort of sense of immediately it changes the frequency of your body into this very calm, peaceful, gentle, pure energy. And so I think that's a really great way of tapping into that sort of frequency of the Divine Mother. What's your thoughts?
I think, not only for tapping into that external energy of that divine mother, but also like the divine mother or the mother within as well. We talk a lot about the inner child and nourishing the inner child, but sometimes I think we need to awaken that inner mother and mother ourselves. And we live in a world that kind of celebrates achievement and progression and action. And there can often be a lot of guilt around that kind of nurturing and being a bit motherly to yourself. And I think lavender naturally. We've done other videos where we've talked about what it does to the body, and this is a great way of kind of like just soothing yourself and giving yourself and granting you permission to slow down a little bit and to nurture yourself and be that internal mother as well. But what I was thinking as you were talking with working with that divine mother, whether it be the Virgin Mary or a different personification, how would you actually use that lavender? Is it just by smelling it, or have you got any kind of unique ways that would people could possibly connect with the divine?
I think it depends on specifically the kind of ritual that you're trying to invoke. So, for example, if I wanted to bring, why would I want to bring the Divine Mother through in me? I don't think I would ever want a Divine Mother myself, to be honest, but maybe I would. Well, let's come back to that in a minute. But I would want to do it because I think, oh my goodness me, I'm being a terrible mother at the moment. People want things from me and I am just not able to give it. I'm too tired, I'm snappy, I'm doing all of those things. Then I would go, right, lavender, soak in the lavender, maybe put a bit of lavender into a diffuser oil, you know, change the frequency of the environment I'm in so that I change my energetic disposition and I go, sorry, love, what did you want again? Let me listen. This time, let me listen. Let me not just snap your head off because I'm tired, which is my default function a lot of the time. So from that point of view, but I think, and actually, from if I thought, right, oh, I just really want my mom, that kind of feeling of because I mean, I don't have it for my mom because my mom's still here, but there are days when I think, oh, I just want my dad. Well, then I would probably get some cedarwood and rub that on my arm. So I think that if you like really missing mom and that and everything that mom gave you, I think that's the nature, that you I just wish I could go and sit with my mom and talk to my mom, rubbing some on it in a carrier oil and just having it on your arm and stroking. And that's all right, love. It's a really interesting thing. There's like a receiver, like a pressure sensor in the skin that you can't actually activate yourself, right? because the only way that you can do it, it's actually only activated when you're a baby and mom's like going, oh, just rubbing your skin like that. No, so you wouldn't be able to do that. Somebody else needs to do that for you. But lavender is very good at being able to tap into the brain and sort of open the same sort of channels as that sense does of going, just so I remember what it feels like to be peaceful. So
Mm.
I think that a little bit in carrier oil to just on the inside of your arm or on your massage oil is very good for that. But if you're thinking, right, I really want to connect with the Divine Mother in a spiritual thing, you really think, I really want to talk to the Virgin Mary, for example. For me, I would have thought the best way is to put it onto your um, rosary beads, and as you rub the rosary beads, you get that smell, because it is the smell, it is the environment around you that shifts, and it helps to kind of open those receptors to that spiritual realm and that spiritual experience to these things.
I was just thinking as well, I often love black spruce because black spruce's Latin name is Picea Mariana, which is actually a reference to Mother Mary. But lavender is very much could be used in the same way, is really quite comforting, like a celestial hug. And we all have those days where every human on this earth has let us down in one way or another. We feel like there's no one we can turn to. And there is that moment where we need to reach for something a bit more divine. And I think lavender is a really nice one. We often think about it being great for sleep, which it is, but I think it's great from as the day starts to end, as the sun starts to set. I can see the sun setting through one of my windows now. And you kind of like, today has just, the world has disappointed me and I just need some support from above. Lavender would be beautiful for that. Now, I love lavender for the crown chakra. Of course, our crown chakra actually helps us to connect with the divine. And I think if you just need to connect with that goddess energy in whatever format or form you perceive or personify that in, I think just having it around your environment, whether it be diffusing it, but also dropping a pop on your crown chakra, could be really beneficial as well.
Yeah, I mean, when you look back right till the dawn of time, and people have always believed that the deities love beautiful scents, right? That's why we offer incense, for example. And if you think about the name lavender, it comes from lave, which means to wash, but actually it means to cleanse. So we have this idea of like cleansing ourselves of all of the rest of the burdens of the world, purifying ourselves to be more what we're supposed to be, more. And by that, I mean, like, from a soul perspective, who you are supposed to be, born to be. And of course, that's the part that the Divine Mother knows, not only who you are, but also those things that are affecting you day to day, so lavender is a really beautiful one of just being able to purify that energy. I love to use lavender flowers in my smoker when I'm going in the beehive, because the bees just go and one of the reasons why it does is because the smoke that comes from it is pure white and it's very, very cooling. And so if you also think about like the nature of like the goddess, she doesn't have this hot nature. She doesn't have this fearsome nature, like, I don't know, cinnamon, for example. She has the cool, calm, almost watery, peaceful nature. And that's the vibration of lavender.
And I think anytime that we're planning to do any magical working or any kind of connection, whether it be, spell work, meditation, channeling, or anything with the Divine Mother or with the goddess energy, we often think about cleansing the space, and we could use lavender for that. But even cleansing ourselves and even popping a few drops in the bath or in the shower beforehand, just to kind of prepare you to meet with the Divine Mother, could be really powerful as well.
I agree with that, and I think that that's a big part of it. Really, sometimes it can be like tempting to think, oh, lavender connects me to the Divine Mother. That would be true, but there are steps in between, and those steps in between are your intention. you know, that your ritual says, this is what I'm connecting with. I'm preparing myself. This is important to me. I'm going through these motions. And so actually talking to the goddess and saying, this is for you, you know, I've put this here for you, and the reasons I've done this before for you is because I really want to know what you think, and I really honor your opinion, and I appreciate your opinion. And that conversation, well, like being over like a cup of tea with your mum, do you know what I mean? That conversation opens the channel. So you've got the right vibration for it, but then you also do need to articulate, this is what I'm doing. You know, this is why I'm doing this. This is why it's important to me.
Definitely. Now, we've talked about how we can use lavender to connect with the Divine Mother and the goddess energy in this video. We're going to get a bit more specific in our next video, and we're actually going to look at one other goddess from a different tradition beyond Christianity. We're going to look at Kuan Yin. So if that interests you, make sure you check out our next video. Until then, take care and blessed be.